everybody, and welcome back to today's video. Today we will be working on a pillowcase. So here is one that I already have made. We will be using the Ryan's Case for Smiles pattern. So if you don't know what they do, go check it out because it is very good. We will be doing this pillowcase here with the different cuff on the top and a different body pattern for the pillowcase. The top part here is 1/3 of a yard of fabric, and the main body part is 3/4 of a yard of fabric. Don't forget to wash, dry, and iron your fabric before you come to the video. It will just save a lot of time when doing it. And we'll be using the hot dog method for this pillowcase. So let's get into the video. Okay, we have all of our materials laid out here. I have my 2 different fabrics that I'm going to be using for this project. A pair of scissors, matching thread. I'm using white for this project. And then some pins, or you can use clips. Okay, let's see. You're going to take your first piece of fabric. So this is the fabric that you need 1/3 of a yard of. You're going to cut 10.5 inches by 40.5 inches. This is the fabric you're going to be using for your sleeve part. Then this fabric for your main, the hot dog part of your pillowcase, you're going to cut it 26.5 inches by 40.5 inches. So these are already cut, so I don't have to worry about cutting them. I'm going to take my, whatever I'm going to be using for my sleeve, which is going to be this, just the Mickey one, and I'm going to lay it facing up, facing where your pattern is facing towards you. And then I'm going to take my other fabric that I'm going to be using for the main part of it, open it up, and this is your front side here. You're going to be laying it on top of your sleeve part. Alright, so I'm going to slide this a little bit because it's stuck. Alright. And up here at the top, you want to make sure it's all lined up together. You're going to take your main piece of fabric and you're going to just kind of fold it up, and you're just going to grab your main piece of fabric. You're going to leave this one untouched. You're going to grab your main piece of fabric and pull it up, and you're going to just kind of fold it, roll it, whatever you're going to do. Whatever you want to do. And roll it almost to the top. Let's say about there. Then you're going to make sure it stays all lined up because mine just moved. You're going to take this part here, so you're going to have this straight edge coming and folding over to meet your other top, and you're going to pin up here. So I'm going to do that again. You're going to have this, you're going to leave folded up, rolled up. You're going to take your sleeve part of your fabric, the edge that is doesn't have anything on top of it, fold it to meet this top edge up here. So just like that, and then you're going to pin it. Make sure it stays all lined up when you pin it. And line all this up. Then you're going to take it over to your sewing machine and stitch a straight line across the edge that you pinned it, making sure that you get all the fabric in that one seam. And sew 1/4 of an inch or the edge of your foot. So I'm going to go sew this real quick and I'll be right back. Okay, we are back and we are going to sew a straight line on this edge with the edge of the foot. So you're going to back stitch as well. Okay, so we have our set here. We're going to cut our threads. So we're just going to snip the threads there. I'm going to throw them in the trash. So now we're going to take, let's snip the threads on this end too before we start. Now then, we're going to take, we have our little thing. We're going to take our main body piece and just pull it through the fabric here. So that way we have all of our fabric coming out. Ugh. A little difficult here, you know, it's okay. Alright. Now we have our base for our pillowcase. We're gonna just open up there and open up here. So now when you iron it, make sure you iron it going this way. So that way it flattens out everything and pulls up your seams here, and iron on both sides too. That way it's all flat. So I'm going to go iron this real quick and then I'll be right back. Okay, we have it all ironed out and everything. We are going to flip this around so that the back side of your main piece of fabric is facing up. Then you're gonna fold this over to where the outside, the right side of your fabric is facing you. I'm gonna fold it this way, just like this. Line it up over here, like that, and make sure bottom is all lined up too. So this is actually pretty straight. I will just cut a little bit over here, but it's actually pretty straight. So let me grab some fabric scissors and I will cut this part up here on the top sleeve. So let me cut just this little bit that I have that's kind of off, and then we'll sew it again. Alrighty, that's probably good. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So I'm going to flip it back the way I had it. Now I'm going to clip this one long side where the seams meet, and then this bottom side you're going to clip or pin up here. So I'm gonna clip it. And those are the sides you're going to sew. Alright. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, we're going to take this over to the sewing machine. We're going to sew this short side here and this long side. Both the sides that you clipped, you're going to sew. So I'm going to take it over to the sewing machine and sew those sides 1/4 of an inch or the edge of your foot. All the way, starting up here at the top, all the way at the top, going down to your corner, leave your needle in, down through your fabric, and twist. And sew the rest of it. So I'm going to take that over there and sew it. Okay, we have our fabric set into the sewing machine. We're going to sew it 1/4 of an inch or the edge of your foot along the edge and backstitch at the beginning, and then when you stop, down at the short side. When you get down to the corner, you're going to, let's see, put your needle down into your fabric. Okay, you'll lift up your presser foot and twist it and put it back down, and then you can start sewing again. You do not have to backstitch here. It's when you get down to the other side of the short end that you have to backstitch. we're going to take it back over to our station and go from there. Okay, we have our edges sewn. We're going to trim our threads. Where'd my scissors go? Trim our threads. And then you're going to want to take fabric scissors. And I'm going to start with this side. And I'm going to kind of zoom in on it. Where's my zoom in? Kind of zoom in on it here. And kind of, oh, that's the wrong one. Kind of go to the starting point. Just kind of lift it up, I guess, a little bit. And you're gonna start cutting. So we have here, you have this seam. What we're making is called a French seam. So you're sewing it right side out. You're gonna trim your seam side to 1/8 of an inch, so half of what it's sewn at, if you're doing 1/4 of an inch. And you're gonna fold it inside out, sew it, and then flip it right side out, and then you have an invisible seam on the inside, so it's pretty good. You're gonna cut just next to that. Here's, you can see the difference between where we sewed it and then what I'm cutting it at. So you're just gonna cut all the way up. About the same length all the way down, up to the top, and then you'll do the same on the short side of your pillowcase. Okay, so we're just going to finish cutting up to the top, just like that. Yeah, I got a little, okay, there we go. So then, see how it's not as wide as what it was before. You're going to take it and do the same with the short side. I'll show it again. Alrighty, now get all my stuff off my scissors. Now then, we're going to, so right now it is right side out. We're going to fold it to where this bad side, let me go back to normal, or zoom it back all the way out. So here, this is your right side on this side. Inside here, you have the back side of your main fabric. That is going to be on the outside when we fold it out. So let's do that. Fold it inside out. Let's find my seam first. Okay. Now then, so we have it folded inside out anyway. I'm just gonna take just my arm and just kind of do out the corners. Make sure all of the seams are all out before we go iron it. Okay, so let's see. There we go, that looks pretty good. So I'm just gonna push all these out. Okay, it's not very straight on this side. Okay, there we go. So now you're gonna go iron your edges, the whole thing flat, and then we will come back and we will go from there. Okay, we have all of our seams sewn flat. So I'm gonna flip this way. I'm gonna grab a marking pen real quick, and I'm gonna mark which sides I'm going to be sewing. Let me grab one. So I'm gonna take my blue chalk, and this is Taylor's chalk, by the way, so it's made for fabric and clothing and stuff. I'm gonna mark which sides I need to sew on. So I need to sew this side here with this blue mark. Then I know I need to sew on the bottom, so we're just gonna make a mark there as well. It's a big mark actually, didn't need to be that big. But those are the two sides you're going to sew on. Now you can either choose to sew 1/4 of an inch, or you can be safe and not have to do it over again and sew 1/2 inch. I'm going to do 1/2 inch, and I'm going to mark on my sewing machine with blue painting tape my 1/2 inch mark so I can stay on that edge. So I'm going to take this over to my sewing machine and we will sew those two edges. Okay, so I have my tape. Out here, and I'm gonna try and move it where you can see it a little better. Yeah. So here. Oh, dang it. Okay. There we go. So there is about the position of where the tape is at on my sewing machine. So now I gotta put it back. Fun. Okay, there we go. Pretty easy, honestly. I thought it would be harder. Okay, we're gonna take our two sides that we marked and we're gonna sew on that 1/2 inch mark on the edge of this tape right here. So we're going to sew there. Now, okay, I have my fabric here. I'm going to keep it on that edge just so I have, though I know I have enough room. You're going to back stitch at the top, and then when we get down to the bottom of this long side, I will do again what we need to do down there. Now when you get down here, I'm going to zoom in a little more so you can see what I'm going to do. When you get down here, you're going to, let's go a little further up, get to about a 1/2 inch mark on your bottom line, and then we'll go from there. So I'm going to go back here. Watch the needle as I put it down. So here, the shiny part here is the needle. Follow that. Put it down into the fabric. I'm going to lift my presser foot, so my finger here, so the presser foot is. Lift up. Then you're going to take your fabric, turn. Mine got stuck on it. Okay, turn. Take your finger, presser foot, back down, and then you can sew like normal. Then back it out a little bit. Okay, sew normal, and then when you get to the bottom part of the short side, you're gonna back stitch. Now we're going to cut our threads and then go back over to our workstation. Alrighty, we have sewn our short sides and our long side. We're going to cut our threads, and then, so that thread's already cut down there. Now then we're going to flip it right side out, so you have the bright pattern facing out. So I'm going to flip this over, and just like this. So you're going to poke it out. You can either use a skewer, or I'm using my fingers right now. I do not recommend using scissors though, just because it can poke through your fabric and you can mess up your project, which you don't want to do that. Okay, so I'd say that looks pretty good. So let me lay it this way. Check it, make sure there's no seams on where you sewed, no fraying edges on either side. Yeah, looks pretty good. So this is our pillowcase. Thank you for watching this video. Stay tuned for next week's video. We will be doing a half apron, and yeah, I'll put the materials for that down below, and the materials for this project down below as well in the description. So yeah, that's it. Thank you everybody for watching. Bye.